Okay, looks like we're live. Hello, everybody. This is the first time I've done this, so pardon me while I try to get familiar with what's going on here. Thank you for joining. I'm Palmdale Slim from the YouTube channel that you've joined, hopefully. I've got about 91 subscribers. Wow, can you believe that? That's a lot for me. And I do appreciate all of you checking me out. And what we're doing today is something that is a kind of a blues tradition. Excuse me there. And the blues tradition is making up a song extemporaneously while you're on the spot. A lot of folks used to do that. Lightning Hopkins was pretty famous for doing it. Old Booker White was a guy who played the National Steel, and he made what he called sky songs. He said he just pulled them out of the sky while he was playing the guitar. So we're going to do something a little bit like that. This is something I've been mucking around with for a while. I call it Mrs. Wilson's Blues. It didn't have that name for a while because I sang it a few times before I gave the main character the name Mrs. Wilson. But that is definitely her name now. This is kind of a, you may hear some lyrics if you're a John Lee Hooker fan. You may hear some lyrics reminiscent of a song he did called House Rent Boogie. There are a few lines from that. I won't say lifted from that. I would say inspired. Most of what you're going to hear is from my imagination with the inspiration of John Lee Hooker and a few of the cool lines that he came up with. So my hat's off to John Lee. I don't want to take anything from him, certainly, and I'm not making any money on this. This is just for me and for you folks, and I appreciate you checking me out. I truly do. It always excites me when I get a new subscriber or when somebody gives it a listen. Okay, let's get started. Mrs. Wilson's Blues. I say, I had the blues. Had the blues from a woman named Miss Wilson. Hey, Miss Wilson, Mrs. Wilson, you're my landlady. You ever have trouble paying the rent? I did a few years ago. Yeah, I had trouble paying the rent. Yeah, I paid my rent every Friday, just like she said. I want my rent money every Friday. Yeah, I had my rent money every Friday. I go downstairs to her apartment. Yeah, she's down there watching. She's watching the TV. She's watching Price is Right every day. She loves it. So I knock on the door. I say, "Here's my rent money." She gets a big smile on her face. She smiles with that big gap-toothed face. Put a carrot in that thing. And then she gets all lovey-dovey. Yeah, she gets lovey-dovey when you give her that rent money. I don't know what happened to Mr. Wilson. Never met him, he'd been gone for a long time. I guess he didn't have no rent money either. Anyway, I gave that money to her every Friday for 5 years. At that battery factory, making the world safe for people who needed power without being plugged in. Drove a forklift. Hey, I took that forklift. I took those forks about 3 stories up in the air. place them just right under that pallet. Then I bring them down all 1,500 pounds of shunts. Never once did I drop that 15 pounds on my head. That's good. Because I was around then, so they could fire me in 5 years. Hey, well, at least they took care of me. I got a week's pay. Yeah, I took my sorry ass home. I did one thing first though. In my pocket, I had the keys to that forklift. I think it was a Toyota. Well, I took those keys out of my pocket. I went into the backyard there where they kept all the other equipment. And I heaved those keys into the snow. I was walking back after I did my deed. My supervisor walked up to me after he fired me already, right? And he goes, I need the keys to that. I said, I gave them to Hank. He said, you did? I said, yeah, I did. Anybody know there's no Hank there? He's so dumb. It'll take him a week to figure out who Hank is and that he ain't there. So I dragged my butt back home with my measly week of pay. And there she is, wearing that purple thing on her head. I don't know what to call it. It's just a purple thing covering up her nappy head. So I looked her dead in the eye. She said, you got my rent money? I said, oh yeah. I got your rent money, honey. Okay, I didn't call her honey. And then she smiled and got all lovey-dovey. Yeah, well, that's all she got was that last week of my pay. Had about 15 bucks left. But she didn't know that. Figured I had till next Friday to find me a decent job. So I walked all up and down the street for a week. I couldn't find no job. Friday came, there I was, downstairs in my building, and she come running around the corner. I could hear those fuzzy slippers scuffing on the rug in the hall. She looked at me and she go, you got my rent money? You got my rent money? You know how she talks. I said, no, I don't have it. First time in 5 years. You think she'd give me a break, but no. There ain't no breaks in life. That's the lesson Miss Griffith thought she needed to teach. I said, no, I lost my job. She said, I know you lost your job. How do you know? She said, I just know. I said, well, I've been working on finding a job. I've been walking all up and down the street. She said, I saw you. You were standing on the corner over by the liquor store. I said, I know, but I was just tired. I've been walking all day. And I ain't drinking anything out of the liquor store. I ain't got no money. You know that. But I want my money next Friday or there's gonna be problems. Okay, I said, I'll have your rent money for you next Friday. I promise. I promise, cause I ain't gonna expect to keep it. So next Friday came and I knew I didn't have no money. I'm trying to sneak into the building. I'm going in the back way. Gotta avoid Mrs. Wilson. But then, right around the corner, there she is. Smiling at me like a big clown on the highway. She said, well, my rent money. You know it's Friday. I said, I know. I was looking for you. Yeah. Whatever. She's a landlady. People lie to her all the time, right? So I said, I know I'm getting my money. It's upstairs. In my room. If you just let me go up there, I'll get it for you. Oh, she said, you got my back rent? I said, oh yes. I was particularly insistent on getting that back rent money. So I went upstairs. I packed up my things. After 5 years, it took only 10 minutes. Oh, I have such a life there. Risking my life every day on the forklift and coming home to that nasty old place. So I went out the back, and you know who was there. She looked at me and said, you can't sneak out of here, you didn't pay me my rent money. I said, you know what? I was watching The Price is Right too. They told me the price for my apartment was $0. She got mad. I just kept walking down the street. I'm walking down the street. She's screaming at me. I want my rent money. I want my front rent. I want my back rent. She ain't gonna get none of it. So I walked on down the street. I went to my friend Floyd. Lived a couple blocks away. He didn't get laid off like I did. I knock on his door. He comes to the door. I say, hey, Floyd, I'm outdoors again. I know it's been a long time, but I'm out there and I need a place to stay. Floyd looked kinda scared. Like he's seen a ghost or something. But what he's seeing was the image of his wife. He looked at me and he said, I don't know. Let me go and ask my wife. I waited for about 180 seconds. And he came back. He said, well, I said, what's your decision? He says, you know, my wife's kind of funny. I said, I know. Everybody funny. Now you're funny too. You funny like Bob Hope. You funny like Danny Kaye. You funny like Steve Martin. You funny like George Burns. You funny. Well, that's the end of Floyd. That's the end of my story about a Mrs. Wilson and how she threw me on the street. Thank you, everybody. Hey, I want to remind you, if you enjoyed that, I'll be doing more of this since I've discovered how to do this on YouTube. I'll be doing more shows like this, long and short. Got a whole show coming up for the spring that I'm working on, but until then, little songs like this. Next time, we're going to go into the other room, and I'll be playing the baby grand piano for a couple things, working on some stuff by Bobby Timmons and Mose Allison for y'all. And if you like what you're seeing here and you're not a subscriber yet, oh, please subscribe to PalmdaleSlim.com. Thanks, everybody. Love y'all.